Hi everyone, it's a pleasure for me to welcome a French player, Cyriius. Welcome Cyriius, how are you?
Hi everyone, I'm really fine. I'm happy to get interviewed.
It's a pleasure for me to have another French, the only French player.
Yeah, it's good for the French community.
Yeah. I know you must feel a bit sad, but congratulations for your strong day one at the X Invitational.
Yeah, I guess there is only the first day to remember, but that's fine. That's fine.
I got some questions from the French community. They were very happy to ask questions to player. Let's start with the X Invitational. What was the atmosphere of the tournament? Did you enjoy your journey?
So first, the journey was amazing. It was all paid by the company, so really enjoyable. And the other good part was that all the players were really kind and really happy to meet with each other. And yeah, that was actually wonderful. We were having good time everywhere we went, all together. So that was amazing.
Yeah, and I won't harass you, but you had the joy to play the set 4 and the set 5. It was awesome, I
Yeah,
think.
it was something. So we had the luck to get the spoiler list from set 4 and set 5. Well, obviously it won't be exactly the same when it will be released, but we have some infos. And that was really excited. I played in both sealed and constructed with the set 4, and the set 5 I couldn't play. We arrived a bit late during the
Okay.
paper version game, so, but that's fine. We saw the list, so it's enough.
Okay, I got a question from Camaremo. Did you know all the players? Some of them were friends or rival?
So, as everybody knows, there is some history between Neo and me, but it was actually all gone when we met, since everybody was really happy to be there. So we were at the end. We were pretty much a crew of 10 people being friends and hanging around with each other, and that was the big part of the first event, to create a really wonderful event with really kindness, happiness, and being the event of Hex.
And now some of them are definitely friends with you. I got some nice words from Bootless, Vazrael, Iglov, or even Value City. And when I was preparing the interview, they told me, "Oh, say hello to Cyriius. We played together for preparing the tournament. It was awesome."
Yeah, I will say hello to them as well, since we had a good time with all of the player. Actually, I say hi to all of them. And yeah, especially with Iglaf, we practiced a little before. With Value City, we teamed up to deck list analysis. And yeah, and with Vazrael, we actually were the one playing the constructed with the set 4 together. So,
oh, nice.
yeah, so that was interesting to test together. And Bootless and his brother were super nice. We were often in the same car with, Value City, Bootless, Egloff, and sometimes Coma, sometimes, Vasral, yeah.
Okay.
That was
It sounds really great.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
I got a question from Cheden. Why did you choose your deck? What was your thought?
So when with the team and with my friends helping me to prepare the event, we found out that there will not be any aggressive deck in the metagame. So especially since Vagabundo and Genie were not able to come, and we knew that a little bit in advance.
Yeah, you were all expecting at least 1 or 2 Phoenix deck.
Yeah, and I was one of the Phoenix for the other, so that
you
helped
tricked them.
Yeah, quite a bit. I was the surprise deck at the end, so. But to come back to the deck, Spider is super well positioned in a control field. It's good against Wild Sapphire, especially Wild Diamond as well. As I said during the Invitational, if you don't use your hero power in the Wild matchup, it's way easier just to stick a Fentio and win the game. And it's really good against Blood in general, Blood archetype, since it was actually at the start built to beat the vampires deck. So because you have Inquisitor to negate the vampires. So yeah, I think it was a really good choice.
Nice. I got 2 questions in one from Deus and Frizette. What do you think of the shape of the tournament? Day 1 existed solely to get from 12 to 8, and it knocked out the third of the player, but the draft eliminated half of the player. Was it fair to you? What do you think of making a limited and a constrict tournament?
So to me, that's difficult to get objective about it, since I was a bit that wasn't that fair to me to me especially, but that's fine. That's fine. We knew how the tournament would be. The only thing I'm really disappointed is more about how they ranked players without taking into account the day 1 ranking. That said, they were taking all the standings from draft to make the ranking, even if we didn't do any ranking match after that. So from 5th to 8th, we didn't do any ranking match, but were just ranked with the draft standings. So yeah, I think the draft is probably a little problematic, since you have to only do 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And I think to have a bit less variance, you need a bit more rounds, which is a bit more difficult to organize, of course. But I don't know, maybe constructed and sealed 4 and 4 rounds, both would have been maybe better, and with only knocking out, like, I don't know, really few player or none for both, since you could just do ranking match at the end. It's like a little championship or something.
Okay. Another question. How do you focus in and between games? Do you have any rituals?
So I guess my only rituals, which is not really a rituals, is how I sit on my chair. But yeah, it's just I had to find a position to play comfortably, and that's it. Other than that, if I lose a round, I try to just get fresh air or get water or stuff like that.
Yeah, just relax to focus again.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing.
Okay, another question. In X, there is risk and reward situation, and players usually go for low risk, low reward to avoid dangerous move. Do you think players are too cautious sometimes?
I don't think players are too cautious. Usually, cautious player will tend to play great most of the time on the long-term basis, and you can get rewarded to play really like high risk, higher reward. Like really, it's kind of greedy, greedy way to play. But yeah, on the long term, I don't think it's that good. But there is some situation where I can see the point going high risk when you are, for example, where you tend to have really few outs to win after. If you don't win right now, it's really based on the situation, I would say. But being cautious is a good thing. Like we saw in my match during the invitational against Jadin Jedi, where he plays super cautious with his Shadim and playing around Extinction. Maybe playing greedy would have won him the game here, but if I just have the Extinction, he just lose straight away, which is really bad actually. So yeah, it's depending on the situation.
Yeah, it's difficult. You must be cautious.
Yeah, it's cautious
Almost
the right amount
every time, but
yeah.
one or two situations you need to be greedy.
Yeah, exactly. It's being really calculated, but yeah, being cautious is really good though.
Okay. What do you think of your team or people that helps you for preparing the tournament? Were they helpful?
Yeah, they were helpful. There were a lot. I had lots of help from WooGalix and from Tinhead and from the Momcard team. With WooGalix, we figured that we had to play Blood for the Invitational, since it was probably the best shard to play, but I had trouble with Monoblood being a bit countered by Diamond Blood or by Diamond Wild and stuff like that, so I wanted to play a second shard in that blood deck, and I ended up playing Sapphire because of the consistent shard base with 8 buy shards. So it was it was
really nice
helpful.
fixer.
And then we play tested every possible matchup, and yeah, that was really helpful. I couldn't have done that great myself, all by myself.
Okay. Another question. What was your favorite moment in the 2 days of the tournament?
There is probably two. Maybe the game in day one for the 4-0 against Coma, where I I had a Fentio that was activated one turn, and he had Azurfate on board, and I procced Tarantula, and he played Crocozar, and I killed my own Tarantula, which was actually game-changing since 2 turns later I killed with the combo because I could activate my Fentio a bunch of time before doing Nazir Fate. And
the second time?
And the second was probably the interview with Alucard, since he's such a nice guy, and that is always great to speak with him, and the interview was really smooth and such. So that was amazing.
Nice. Okay, now more general question from our viewers. A question from Overspace. What was your first TCG and your favorite beside X?
So my first was Magic the Gathering. It was, I played a lot and I still play. But I did lots of GPs and PTQs when it was still alive as a system. I grinded a lot of tournament, even if I never did a pro tour. I did end up at the last step every time, but I did some. I had some good showing anyway. And then it was Duel of Champion, where I failed to qualify for the World Championship. Had the final of the qualifier, but yeah, that Duel of Champion made me forget Magic the Gathering for 2 or 3 years anyway. So it was a great time with both of those games. But now I think Hex is kind of an evolution of Magic the Gathering.
Okay, a question from Freezet. What is your favorite card and your favorite deck?
So I would probably say Phoenix, since I like the mechanics of that card. And my favorite deck is probably more of a fun deck, even if it was good during the best of one gauntlet. It was Wild Ruby Phoenix with some Periwinkles, Phoenix, Ceremony, Jax, and stuff like that, and Soul of Battle, and Gastrol, and bunch of spells in there. And so it was really explosive, really funny to play. It is still funny to play, but
it sounds brutal.
It is super aggressive, but after reserve, it's all gone.
Yeah. Okay, another question from Lot Orkani. Do you think the sets and the game generally are well balanced?
I'm not entirely sure. The format of the invitational was one of the good points of the format, since it was really open. We could play pretty much everything and anything. There were since we were a low number of players, it was an open meta game. We could play anything. But I think Blood is a bit too powerful at the moment, I think. And before it was Titanias, and before it was Sapphire.
Yeah, Mono Sapphire. Now the meta is more healthy.
Yeah, it's better. Not, I wouldn't say the best, but it's all right. It's all right. I'm a bit scared about set 4 though.
is not released yet, so maybe
Yeah,
they can do some tweaks.
yeah. I hope so on some cars, but yeah.
Yeah, you told me we won't spoil anything, but you were afraid of one or two cards. You
Yeah,
think they were really powerful?
I I even asked if they could nerf one card because I think it's probably way too powerful in limited and too powerful in
Construct.
constructed. So when I mean way too powerful in limited, it's to me it's way too powerful.
Okay.
Yeah, but we will see. Maybe it's not the same now.
A question from Draduli. What is your expectation for the set 4?
My expectation, I hope they fix the limited portion, the draft, where it's more adapted to 17 cards than set 3 was. Well, obviously it shifted during the set 3, so they were not really prepared to do that kind of draft, because to me it changed lots of things. And for constructed, it will bring some new archetype for sure. I am already sure about that.
Nice.
Since we tested a little with Basrael. And yeah, I think it will be actually super exciting to play that for sure. Can't wait.
Nice. And a final question. Do you have any advice for the new player who starts the game?
So I think for the main word is probably patience. So it's a slow process, but if you want to do really good, then I would suggest to go campaign, understand the mechanics and how the game works and stuff like that. Then go to arena to have the small transition to PvP, and then begin PvP with Swift Draft, so you can see more interaction in between sets, and then competitive draft and draft and draft and draft again, and when you got the card, then jump to PvP constructed, and you'll do great if you are good and limited, in my opinion.
Okay. Thank you really much. Thank you for taking a bit of your time to answer to this question, and we wish
You're
you the
welcome.
best for the future.
Thank you too. I hope you all enjoyed it.
I'm sure.